Hello YouTube, this is Crazy B56 and I'm still on a $10 webcam and it's still awesome. Since yesterday I did a rant video about mostly the cons or the things that need to be improved about Battlefield and or DICE. Today I decided to do a pros, awesomeness rant per se about how Battlefield 3 is awesome and way better than Modern Warfare 3. First of all, and first and foremost, their engine. They spent a long time. I don't know. It was like years. At least, I'm thinking 6, but I think that's Fallout. So I'm not really sure. But it was at least way more than most game developers. And they completely redid their engine, and it's amazing. It looks awesome. It feels awesome when you're playing it. That didn't sound weird at all. It's just awesome in most respects. It's just amazing. It's what I'm trying to get across. If you hadn't noticed, just the gameplay is awesome. Really, other than the few things that like me, Simmons, and Bad pointed out. Other than those, really, gameplay is amazingly amazing. The unlocks, so many unlocks, so little time. Actually, the unlocks aren't like usually in some games. There's like few unlocks at the beginning, like you start out the noob unlocks, like the noob weapons, and then you get to like the later levels, and then like the middle you get almost nothing, and then you get to the really high levels, and that's when you start unlocking the super awesome happy fun time awesome weapons. And Battlefield, it's very methodical, and that's not in a bad way. It's like you unlock this and you unlock that to get the next one that's pretty much the same. It's a little bit, it's not like exponential, so when you go from the second to last gun to the last gun, it's not like over 9,000 XP more than you did before type deal. And the way they did their unlock system is amazing, and that especially for vehicles they did amazing. They built it on top of each other. If you can configure a helicopter, an attack helicopter, and you put the right unlocks, if you have the right weapons with the gunner and the right thing unlocks for the pilot, if you have them both and you do it right and you have communication between the two, it becomes a superpower, because you have the and also working with your team, because helicopters can be amazing. Because here's an example with the scout helicopter, tiny ass helicopter, not very powerful. It does have 2 chain guns on the side, but usually it's not really a very combat effective. It's only against infantry, and that's really hard to hit for some reason. But if you have the laser painter, which is one of the very later upgrades, and you have 2 people on the side with javelins, and they can lock on to things that have been laser painted, as soon as it's locked on, that tank will go away. That's 2 javelins. It takes 2 javelins to, I think, disable and or destroy. I'm not really sure. Depends on where you hit it or stuff. But it becomes amazingly powerful. And the way they did the tank, the last the last unlock that you get for the tank is an extra seat. Like they built another seat. I don't know if you get into it. It just you bring a seat with you and put it into the tank. It's foldable, and it gives you a laser painter, like you can lock on to targets, like laze them. And when you do that, the tank driver has what's called a guided missile. It's another unlock, and the guided missile can lock on to lazed targets, and it's you can now kill jets and or helicopters with tank shells, which is amazing, if I do say so myself. And it's not like it's a permanent unlock. It's not like you have to sacrifice something else to get that last unlock. So it promotes teamwork and communication, and I like it. And the same with the Sophlum for the Recon class, which I don't like the Recon class. But also another good thing is the spotting system. Just, it's amazing. They did it so that if you can see the target, then you can see a little red dot above their head if it's been spotted. And in the previous Battlefield games, if you were spotted, you will see that red dot above your head no matter where you are on the map, no matter what's between you and the other person, no matter what happens, you're going to see that red dot. So if I'm completely across the map and I see you and I'm hiding in a tree, I can snipe you without even being able to see you. All I can see is that red dot, and I just aim right below it. And they fixed that so that you can't do that. It's across the map. Tanking was very problematic, and they fixed it, and it's awesome. Another thing about DICE, I don't know if it's about DICE, but during the beta, the first few days of the beta, most everyone, and I was one of them, and my friends and everyone, there was so many snipers. I think it was the Call of Duty people, I'm gonna noob it up with faggot in the corner and snipe everybody. And then, because it was on a shitty map. It was a good map, but not for an open beta. It wasn't a good map. Operation Metro, not a good map at all for an open beta. But there was so much sniping, and people were rage quitting and canceling their pre-orders. That's how bad it was. And everyone was like, DICE, you need to fucking fix this. So what they did it almost immediately, and I love them for it, was they put a glint on the sniper's sniper scope if it's above 6x zoom. And it doesn't matter where or when or what the lighting conditions are, there will be, when they're have their sniper and they're zoomed in, I think it might be when they're not. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But there's going to be it's like a flashlight. It's like a flashlight shining in your eye, but very dim and very a tiny LED, and you can see it from across the map. Well, okay, almost across the map. And it's really easy to detect. You can really pick out snipers, and it helped a shitload. It was the perfect solution. It wasn't like a radical give them different weapons, limit this, limit that, like I suggested there. It wasn't massively radical. It was just put a glint on their sniper scope, and boom, problem solved. And I think DICE did really good by that. But not really. Other than that, they're really, just because they're occupied with servers right now is why they're not changing any things like that. But they need to get back to that. They need to start listening. Okay, back to the good stuff. More good stuff. Need to think of ideas. Need to ponder. The hell else? Squad system is good, kind of. Ribbons and medals are amazing. They reward you for doing a lot of something very good, and I like it. Except for some of them are kind of very difficult to get. Like, if I'm not a sniper, I am horrible at sniping. If I suck at that, and one of the ribbons is the 4th or 5th unlock that you get for the recon class. So you're forced to snipe. It's kind of stupid. But they actually were supposed to have it work with the first unlock, but they still haven't fixed that. They actually don't know why it's happening. They're like, bros, it says right here, here, and here. It's even labeled and has a little tag by it. It's supposed to do that. I have no idea why it's happening. But they're trying, I think. I don't even know. But, yeah. And mainly, I don't like the fact that there's not many people with mics on. Barely anyone. I haven't seen anyone with a mic in, actually. 0 people at all. No one with mics. I don't know if people are just shy, or they're just, I don't even know. Or they just didn't turn their VoIP, voice over internet protocol, voice over the interwebs. They didn't turn that to team. But whatever. They should have really defaulted it to team. Um, the amazing thing, I like it and dislike it. Okay. With their engine, what they did with it is they didn't limit themselves to the current consoles, the PS3 and the Xbox 360. In all respects, in the gaming industry, in the gaming or computer industry, okay, mainly gaming or high performance, the Xbox 360 and the PS3, they suck. They really do. The PS3, okay, the PS3 has sucky RAM and sucky processor, and the 360 has a sucky graphics card memory, and okay memory, and a pretty decent processor. But, and the PS3 has a good, it's a pretty good graphics card. For the time, it was amazing. Same with the 360. Everything about both of them when they came out was amazing. 360, I think, they still have a good system. I mean, architecture. They just need a little bit more power. But they built it for PC and then ported it to Xbox and PS3 and just like crammed it and condensed it. And they did a really good job with it, except for the fact that on PC you have 64 players on a map, which is awesome. It's an actual like legit battlefield. It's way too fucking long. It's a legit battlefield, and there's changes, and it's awesome, and there's a shit ton of vehicles, and it's amazing. On the consoles, you only get 24 people. It's still amazing. They did a really good job of condensing the maps. And I love what they did with the aircraft, where the aircraft and jets can fly in a 64-player size map instead of a 24-player size map. I think they did that amazing. But with the 360 and the PS3, at least on the 360, and the 360, I think looks better. Like the textures are better, but the destructibility looks a little worse than the PS3. That's the thing about it. The PS3 and Xbox is the PS3 has dedicated graphics card RAM, so it has a better graphics. It kind of has a better graphics processor and kind of doesn't. It's really freaking weird, but it has dedicated graphics, and the Xbox has something else that I can't think of at the moment. But they're both good in their own respects. It's just the PS3 is better at like particles and like when you destroy a building, all the little chunks and stuff. The PS3 is better at rendering those, but the 360 in Battlefield 3 is better at rendering the textures and having just pure textures and having everything look good. And they did it, I think they ported it over with the limitations of the consoles, which are really bad, actually. If you get down to brass tacks, it's pretty bad. RAM is not something you want not a lot of, and both consoles suck at RAM. And they did a really good job at putting it on the consoles. But I don't think there really is an excuse for having 24 people. They should really dim the graphics down for certain like game types or something. Dim the graphics down a little bit. Dumb the graphics down and increase the player count. Because I want to play with more people. I want to shoot more people. I want to be awesome with more people. Because that's good. But the way they did it now, I think they did a really good job at it. I thought in the beta and what was all coming out that it wasn't going to be good. We were going to get a watered down version as console players, and it was going to not be as good as the PC. It's, other than the player count, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. There is more destructibility, I think. I actually don't know because I haven't played it on PC. But I think they did a really good job at porting it with the limitations of the consoles. That should be it. That's not it. I can guarantee it's not it. But should be more. This is all the time that we have. Way too much time. This is Crazy B56. See you tomorrow.